it's what I call the radical implications of the incarnation. Like radical incarnational theology is that when Jesus said, you search the scriptures because in them you think you have life, but you don't realize they're about me, and I and the Father are one. You've seen me, you've seen the Father. The way I've been thinking about it recently is like, there's this Coleridge quote where he says like the philosopher's privilege is to distinguish without division. So like there's a distinction there, but like they are one. They're one thing. So the Christian assertion, sorry Jews, is that when we say like you've seen me, you've seen the Father, I and the Father are one. So they're trying to say like this ineffable, utterly transcendent, untouchable God like is here.
Right.
He is incarnate. And I think that's what Jesus is saying when people talk about the historical Jesus. In a sense, the historical Jesus is this transcendent, ineffable, untouchable God because it's abstract, it's historical, it's gone.
Sure.
So then where is Jesus? This is something I like to talk about now. Where is Jesus now?
Right.
And you'll think, oh, he's sitting at the right hand of the Father. No, he's here. He's in Sam. He's in my kids. He's in my wife. He's in the homeless. He's in my enemies.
Birds and gardens, ordinary dumb objects, and even China.
Like that's in the same way. And I think this is a radical statement. I don't think people like it, but I think if you believe the incarnation, it's true. When Jesus said, you're searching for God and he and I are one. You've seen me, you've seen him. I think if you say this kind of thing, and it seems blasphemous to say, you're looking for God, I am he.
Right.
Like I am God.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's the I am statements of John make that very clear. I mean, there's no getting around
But I think
that.
there's something about Christian, like I don't know what it is. There's like a conservative impulse in Christianity, or I don't know, traditional maybe. Traditional is maybe a better word than conservative. That doesn't want to say, that wants to leave space there, leave a gap there. They're like, it's okay for Jesus to say that, but it's not okay for a Christian to say that. And I'm like, well, I don't know what a Christian is then.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think it's you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no part in me. And if you eat his
but is that
body,
real? Right? People still want to leave that as a metaphor. You know what I mean?
Vampire Dune, and talking about his experience of being in the sort of critical of those he's in service with, and then at a moment seeing, these are the saints, the glory of God almost like shining from them, and it's like, oh, this is, because it can seem like what, it's like a mystery, it's like veiled, it's we don't always see because we don't always have eyes to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, that's exactly what, when Jesus came to the earth, it's the same thing. A lot of people didn't see, and some people, like Simeon sees him as a baby, and it's like, this is God.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I can see exactly what you're saying, where that could be controversial, or could be considered very scandalous for someone to hear what you just said about, like, well, I am.
I think why it's so hard is the implications is that God is in everything. You really have to love your enemy. You really have to forgive people. It's like, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do, or like, forgive me as we forgive those who trespass against me.
Yeah.
Like that is salvation. There's no salvation apart from that. And I think that the implications that God is in all things mean you have to be reconciled with everything, or else you're not reconciled with God.
Right. Yeah. It's like, judge not lest you be judged. And it's like, also, just because technology has given me this sort of weird way to like look into other people's sort of public expressions of themselves, like now I suddenly have some capacity to make a judgment, like who the frick am I? You know what I mean?
God in a dirty cave manger stable thing.
Right.
It's the incarnation versus the, heaven meets earth like an unforeseen kiss. Very fairy Greek, ethereal, like distant.
Yes.
Romantic.
It's platonic. It's sort of like out there. Yeah.